Leadership and ethics. Leadership and ethics are closely linked because leaders influence not only what decisions are made, but also how those decisions are justified, communicated, and executed. Ethical leadership involves acting with integrity, fairness, and respect for others, ensuring that decisions align with moral principles as well as organizational objectives. Leaders have the responsibility to set the tone for expected behavior, demonstrating honesty, accountability, and transparency in their actions. When leaders behave ethically, they establish trust, which is a foundation of effective relationships and organizational culture. Ethical leadership also requires consideration of stakeholders' interests, promoting outcomes that balance performance goals with social responsibility and respect for people. Leaders must be aware of the ethical implications of power, ensuring that authority is used to support, develop, and guide rather than control or exploit. Ethical leadership strengthens credibility, encourages followership, and reduces the risk of misconduct. When employees believe that their leaders act ethically, they are more likely to engage positively, collaborate, and uphold shared values in their own behavior. Ethical leadership directly influences teamwork, communication, and organizational climate. Leaders who demonstrate fairness and consistency help create a sense of psychological safety, where employees feel comfortable expressing concerns, sharing ideas, and acknowledging mistakes without fear of negative repercussions. This strengthens relationships and supports learning-based cultures. Ethical leaders model respectful communication and actively listen to employees, promoting inclusion and valuing diverse perspectives. They avoid favoritism or manipulation, ensuring that decisions regarding recognition, rewards, and resource allocation are made transparently. When conflicts arise, ethical leaders encourage dialogue and apply principles-based reasoning rather than personal bias or power dynamics. Ethical behavior is reinforced through clear codes of conduct, training, and formal systems, but it gains real meaning when leaders live these values in daily practice. By nurturing trust and openness, ethical leadership reduces internal competition and encourages collaboration. Employees who feel treated fairly are more motivated, more engaged, and more willing to contribute to collective goals. Leading ethically also requires the ability to navigate dilemmas where values may conflict or where business pressures challenge moral judgment. Ethical leaders use structured decision-making frameworks to evaluate consequences, stakeholder impacts, and long-term implications rather than focusing solely on short-term results. They recognize that ethical leadership involves courage, speaking up when practices are harmful, questioning unrealistic expectations, and resisting inappropriate pressures. Transparency is strengthened when leaders communicate the reasoning behind decisions, helping employees understand how values shape outcomes. To sustain ethical behavior, organizations must align systems such as performance evaluation, incentives, and recruitment with ethical expectations. If rewards are tied only to financial outcomes, unethical behavior becomes more likely. Ethical leadership must therefore be consistent across systems, culture, and behavior. Regular reflection, feedback, and ethical training encourage continuous improvement. Ultimately, ethical leadership supports strong relationships because it signals respect, fairness, and reliability. When leaders prioritize ethics, they build resilient teams based on trust, shared purpose, and integrity.